Well, about 10 years ago, we found ourselves in a position where the wet slips prices were going right up through the roof, and the income was going right down through the basement. So we needed to get the HideAway out of the water and onto a trailer quickly. We found a local marine salvage yard that would build one of the old powerboat trailers into a sailboat trailer, or so they said. I think some of their tools involved cans of spray paint because we had a lot of rust issues that came up awfully fast. Well, it seemed like a good idea at the time, and frankly, we didn't have the money to go invest in a new trailer, and we needed to get the HideAway out of the water quickly because of the increased rates for the wet slips. And I suppose it was the right thing to do at the time. After all, it has kept us going here for the last 10 years. But I've been noticing a lot of rust. You know, we do try to keep it washed and cleaned and all that, but it's an old trailer, overbuilt. It's not a sailboat trailer. But as we investigated here recently, it's clearly time to get another one. I want to show you some of the problems that we have with this trailer. Maybe you can avoid them. For one thing, I thought that since the boat has a 7-foot 10-inch beam, that the trailer needed to be the same size. That's not true. I did not look at a Com-Pac on a trailer built for Com-Pac. I should have done that. Would have made a big difference. So we're in the market for a new trailer, and we do have one ordered. It should be here in just a while. But first, I want to show you what happened in between.
Now this is another area of concern because this is a structural member. This was a drip hole. That sounds pretty good, but when you get into here, not a good sound. These are both structural members. Now this trailer is way overbuilt for the HideAway, but we're real concerned about all the twists and the bumps and the bad boat ramp that we have. So these are all reasons that we don't want to continue with this particular setup. Okay, there's always more to the story, and it's not just minor rust in places that don't matter, but it's holy rust in places that probably do matter. On the bottom there, you're going to see that's the tongue extender, and that's not rust. That's the drippings from the other part of the trailer, which is more structural and is actually of more concern. But wait, there's more. We're starting to see rust in all kinds of places. Right there, for instance, if I can get that in. After breaking one of the 2x12s on a particularly hard recovery, I thought about adding another 2x12 to the mix. However, that changes all the other dimensions on the bunks and a lot of other stuff I just didn't want to get involved with. So I went to a local steel supply center and bought a couple of these 4-foot long, I think they're about almost a 1/4 inch thick mild steel, painted them all up, and we bolted them on this area. This trailer was not built for the HideAway, and this is a weak area. It always has been. So, but this has taken care of the problem so far. Of course, it doesn't matter now when we get the trailer that's actually made for the boat. But this was one of the many hours of work on this trailer that I've done just because it's so old and not the right one for the boat. If you're going to go the junkyard route, you really need to be knowing what kind of trailer you can have and what's going to work best for your boat. This is the new axle that they put on that had the brakes to it. Brakes have long rusted off, and you can see the plate itself down there towards the bottom is actually pretty well gone. This trailer is not safe to run down the road. So I'm questioning whether I'll be able to do one more launch. That's all I need is one more launch. But if you notice, the springs are shot all the way around. There's structural rust just about any place you want to look. It's clearly time to get rid of this thing before it creates a real problem for us. Not sure if you can see this, but this is a brake line, and of course it hasn't been operational for many years either because we don't go out on the road with it, but it is rusted all the way through and blocked. There's nothing left of that. Now that's a metal line. I've noticed some of the trailers now have these nylon or steel, this type of a line where it's flexible, and it's still fine, so I'm hoping my new trailer will come that way. Time will tell, not too long. We're looking at the back end of the trailer for the HideAway. This trailer's from a junkyard about 10 years ago, and we've been getting by for a while, but we've been learning a lot about rust and galvanized steel. And one of the things is the sound that you hear when it's good versus the sound that you hear when it's time to get out the credit card. So here's the good sound. Nice little ring, right? Less of a ring. Real bad. Ooh. Yeah. So there's really nothing holding that together. So we have ordered a trailer, and hopefully that will be here before this falls completely apart. Well, so far I've not seen any signs of a bend or a break in the strength of this. There's not much left of the steel itself, but this trailer always had this V business in here. And then I can't really move it around much, but I think we've got probably one more launch that we can pull off. That's really all we need, because once we bring it out, we're going to switch trailers, of course, and then this one goes to the junkyard, hopefully in one piece.
Well, if you do decide to build your own trailer, I would suggest finding a boat like yours that's on a trailer, get the measurements and photographs. If you have to do a lot of modification, I don't know that you're that much ahead on cost. You may find that if you have to add an axle or brakes or something like that, that the expense will be high enough that the difference between something that's going to last you a much longer time and this thing you're putting together, it may not be worth it. The other thing to consider, and that is this rebuilt trailer that you're going to do will require a lot more maintenance, and it's going to require a lot more time working on things that have already rusted. By definition, it's already old. I can't count the hours of work that we've done under the hot Florida sun just to get the trailer in a good enough shape to launch. So that's worth more than money. Once we get the new trailer, I'm going to go over it, and we'll post another video about it. We are going to have a different approach to maintenance on the new one, and that might be helpful to you. Everything I'm going to recommend is already online, so there's nothing new here, but we'll give you a view of what we think is going to be the best combination for our saltwater intrusions that we have all the time. Anyway, happy sailing. Hopefully we'll be out there a lot more. Maybe we'll see you.